to get off your ass and do it. What are you hiding? What are you afraid of? Stop neglecting yourself. Get out of this relationship.
And welcome, everyone, to another edition of Unexplained Cases Medium. You got Rick Garner. You've got...
Maryam the Medium.
Always forget it's this way.
The opposite?
It's the opposite, you know. So if we want to try to mix things up a little bit.
Wow, that was crazy. Woo!
I know,
Go
right?
easy, man.
I mean,
This is a PG-rated show.
Well, you know, we try to keep that fine there. So Cleansing Me, hello. Also, Aaron, welcome.
Hi, Aaron.
Thanks for everyone for joining us. We've got just a bunch of random stuff that we need to be able to share. I know you had a story, but probably let's just go ahead and get a nice little tidbit out of the way. Would be we're obviously here today. We'll obviously be same time, same bat channel next Sunday, but starting on February the 4th, we're actually going to be moving to Thursdays. So you won't find us here at this time.
Evening, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 7 Pacific and 10 o'clock Eastern. That is starting on February the 4th. So something new for February. Speaking of changing things up and getting crazy. So.
And we have all kinds of Black History Month episodes coming out. We're doing them right now on Saturdays, but they're already up. Worth watching. They're pretty crazy. But I wanted to tell you this funny story. Rick, you're going to love this.
Well, so you deserve center stage on that one then.
No! I need you there. I need you here. Because it's about you. It's gonna, don't freak out. It's gonna start weird, but then it'll PG-13.
I enjoy weird.
Do you like that I went from PG to PG-13? Because I do swear, so PG-13 is realistic.
I'm liking it already, basically. This is getting entertaining.
So last night I had a dream that you were helping me find my car because I lost it in a parking garage. And the reason why you're not laughing. The reason why this is funny is because, Rick, you know, if I ever go missing, just search all the local parking garages. Me in parking garages, like I can slay demons, I can channel anyone in the universe, but if you put me in a parking garage, there's a good chance I won't come out.
So everybody has their weaknesses.
I get lost in them. I lose my car in them. Yes, I write down the number that it's at, but my mom, if she's watching, she gets it. And so last night, I woke up laughing because Rick was on the phone with me once when I got lost in a parking garage. I was driving my car and I couldn't, I thought it said exit. It clearly didn't say exit. It took me like 15 flights all the way down to a wall. And I was like, oh, and I still was getting service.
Tessa, this has nothing to do with sense of direction. This is actually worse. Okay.
I do have a bad sense of direction though. But I was on the phone with Rick and I'm like, I'm lost. I don't know how to get out. And he's not sure if he should be laughing or feel like call someone because I was genuinely lost in there.
You know, and plus basically with our friendship, I'm thinking, you know, this is comedy gold here. This could be built, you know, maybe almost to the point of tears because a good friend wouldn't actually want to make another one intentionally cry, but just take them right up to the edge and then be like, okay, here's how you solve it. So,
well, and Bruce, I do have an awful sense of direction, and I always smartphones and it's not MapQuest anymore. What do they call it?
Google Maps.
Whatever, all that stuff is.
All that.
I would call Bruce daily to help me navigate where I'm at because my sense of direction was so bad. And at that time, Bruce was a courier. He delivered. So he knew his way around this place like nobody. And I always say that's why the universe brought us together, because had he not come into my life, I'd be sitting in a parking garage in fetal position not knowing how to get out, rocking.
Help me. Help me.
And it also opened up the conversation when I woke up this morning laughing, because probably most of you guys watching are like me, where you always wake up, if you remember your dreams, you're like, oh, what does that mean? Plus I get a lot of people asking me all the time, what does this mean in my dream? What does this mean? What is that? So here's the thing about dreams.
Helping you find
my car.
Was I willingly doing it? Was
Yes.
this no strings attached or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
You were willingly. But dreams are multiple things. You can have premonitional dreams for sure. I might have just made up a word, premonitional. But you have to be aware. You have to be most of the time when we dream, we're just clearing the clutter from our mind, from our day, from what we've heard and watched and seen and experienced. That's why some sort of nightly bringing yourself down, quiet meditation, even if it's just for a minute or two, is important, because it'll help really clear the day. Saging yourself clears the day. So when you dream at night, it's a much more specific dream that is healing or gives you clarity, information. And that night, last night, there was a lot, because yesterday's show was intense and there's all kinds of stuff. So my mind, I was all over the map. It wasn't necessarily anything premonitional, although helping me find my car in a parking garage isn't that obscure, other than right now it's COVID, so no one's going anywhere. But I just woke up laughing. So I was like, it's just more kind of our relationship. Him helping me navigate out of a parking garage. That's the depth to our relationship.
Or a paper bag, or computer stuff, or yeah. So sure. so basically, I'm like a compass. Basically, is that what it is? So
I'm sure our guest today is kind of questioning putting her health in my hands.
Well, so Christy's in the green room. She's obviously questioning this at this point. This whole bit here at the top of this. Jordan's gotten used to it, so I'm sure he's thoroughly
he muted.
Is it? I'm actually glad he was meditating before coming on here, because that's probably that's important. Otherwise, you'll get sucked into this crazy, and who knows what could happen there, basically. So that's a good story, though. I appreciate you sharing that. That's good. Well, so speaking of good stories, and speaking of Jordan, I should probably we should probably slide him in there. Hey, bud, what's up?
Hello. Jordan.
Hi, Maryam.
I get to see you in person. Isn't it like 1 a.m. there right now or something?
Well, it's a decent time.
Currently 8:30.
See, it's only 9:30 there, basically. Yeah. So it's only for the 10 o'clock show that it's crazy time. That's when I was like, dude, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning for you almost. So it's like,
you know what? When we discussed, when I was thinking about switching my time, the first person I thought of, which I think Rick did too, was Jordan. And I was like, oh man, what are we going to do? But then I was like, you know what? He shows up for the 7 o'clock, so he's good. I don't know his life, but he can stay up till 3 a.m. twice a week now.
Oh, yeah. I get used to it. I do a load of missing person cases and stuff like that. So.
Oh, good.
Wow. We even had someone in the YouTube comments who was mentioning
Louis Steve vlogs.
Yes, exactly. Mentioning working with you on some stuff, and I'm like, well, hey, this is awesome. See, this is the other side. We haven't had a chance to unpack all the stuff that you've been working on, which I'm like, dude, you're just kind of getting stronger and stronger, exercising all those psychic muscles there, man.
Oh, that's really neat.
That's awesome. Well, speaking of that, last week, hey, Holly and Tessa,
happy birthday, Tessa!
Well, I have to bring Tessa in, so that's what Jordan looks like. I only know him by his Bitmoji. So now the secret's out, basically.
Oh yeah.
See, there's the real Jordan there. So Joy Gothic Crow, Steve Crawford from DGH Steve's Darlington Ghost Hunters. Just giving a few little shout outs. We had quite a few people pop in. So today's show is a little bit different. We're getting some interesting tidbits and business out of the way. If you happen to be here last week, it started with there being a face.
The face isn't there anymore that I can see.
apparently was hiding out in the banner, and I was thinking I was seeing it. You had first called it out, Jordan. Several of the people referenced it. Miriam saw it, and then I could say the story escalated, but tell me what you perceived, and then I'll share what you shared with me. You had a little drawing there that you shared, bud.
Well, what I felt, first of all, I thought grandfather type of energy that I got from him. I feel like it's on I think it's on your mother's side.
Okay.
But he's also, it's crazy because he was telling me that he was also a guide as well. So he's part of your team, the guide team that you've got around you.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, that's quite awesome. So I was going to share for folks.
The photo,
Yep.
the painting is like stunning.
Which, this is the second time that I have seen your work, and like the first time you're like, oh, what'd you tell me? Like you don't draw.
Doodle.
That's like your first time or something. I'm like, dude,
It's
that's
my first time drawing.
That's impressive though, because like from a guy who, I don't draw anymore, but when I did, it's like a face is like the most difficult thing to put together, because dimensions can get all weird and crazy, but you've done quite well with this one and the previous one. I'm like, so here we have
and that does look like who we all saw. And when I saw it as if it was in your Unexplained Cases banner. And I was so confused because it was so evident. I was like, it looks like it's in your banner. But then he was gone. That night, he wasn't there anymore. And he looks like him. Oliver wanted to see too.
It's exactly how I seen him in the back of my mind. I was like,
yeah, that's exactly.
I have to draw what this person looks like before it fades away out of my mind.
Yeah. Right. It was amazing. That was awesome. And as soon as you showed me the picture, I was like, yeah, that looks like who we all saw. That was weird.
So basically, just someone who's generally around, but not necessarily all the time. Is that kind of the sense?
He's one of them. He's always around. He's just. It's like he's got other things to do. Mm-hmm. So.
Depends on where I fall on the list, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Do I get risen up, pushed down, that kind of thing like that.
Because as we know, we've all got lessons when we pass over. We still learn when we pass over.
Exactly. So, and Irene was saying hi to your doggo.
So, Irene says hi, Oliver.
So, so we have to have, it's always good to give some props to some doggos there. Holly also mentioned seeing the face too. So, that's the randomness of the program. You never know what you're going to get there.
Pop in?
That's what's great about the live. So, Mr. Jordan, thanks so much for, having some insights, sharing that picture, and, being a part of the program for today, bud.
It was wonderful being here.
No, awesome. Well, we'll move along to some other stuff, but bye for now, sir.
Bye, Jordan. Thank
you.
Thanks, bud. All right, so I guess probably some folks who we mentioned. We got a case. We got Christy coming up in a little bit, but we should probably move on to that other segment that people like to hear about, which would generally be called Pick a Card.
Let's just take a couple breaths. Relax your forehead. Relax your jaw. Relax your shoulders. Relax your belly. Release the hips, the thighs, the feet. Breathe. Notice your breath. Notice its depth. And now start to consciously deepen your breath. Start to consciously lengthen your breath. Deep inhale. Really lengthen the exhale. Moving at your own pace. Really allowing that belly to expand. Really allowing that belly to expand on the inhale. Pull in on the exhale. Really allowing that belly to be free, not tight, not pulled in. Breathe. Before we start, I want to talk a little bit about animals. I was drawn to bring this topic up because I had someone reach out. They had to put their dog down. She said, I don't understand why this hurts. And this is someone who, this was the first time having this experience. And I expressed to her that animals are sentient beings, and yet society has taught us to see animals as disposable. You might buy an animal, you might adopt an animal and then decide, it's not a good fit or I have to move, and they're disposable. People do it all the time. So it doesn't make sense to us why the pain would be so great. We think it shouldn't be as great when it's an animal, because animals we look at as less than. And so what that triggered for me was a conversation, because when I channel spirit and when I channel aliens, there is a common thread about how we treat other beings and how we treat our bodies. And for those of you that know me, you know I'm vegan. I started out vegetarian at a very young age, flip-flopped, didn't stay full vegetarian the whole time, of course. Reasons, society pulled me in and out of it. And then I stabilized as I got older and have been vegan for 5 years. But I didn't choose to be vegetarian or vegan because someone told me to, or because I follow or believe in something. Everything that I do is spirit driven. I don't do something that someone tells me to do. Even Guru Singh, someone that I follow very deeply, his lectures, his work, his classes, there's a lot that is said that isn't for me to act on or believe in or respond to, because it's not time for me yet, because it's not time for me to hold that information. And so I hold what I'm told to hold. I retain what I'm told to retain. And I'm saying all of this because there's so many different moments when I'm channeling spirits, aliens, animals, whomever. And that thread is to take care of the planet and not to eat and mass murder and torture animals. And so the reason why I want to say that is because I want people to know that I don't preach my opinions. I don't preach my personal beliefs. And when I do, I'll preface it with, well, you all know. And so when I am channeling information from spirit, it's spirit, or I don't pass it along. And that common thread about animals, I thought was interesting when this woman who had her dog, rescued her dog, had her for 13 years, and genuinely didn't understand why it hurt. And that's why, because we have numbed ourselves so that we can A, eat them, B, breed them, and then kill them without a conscience. We do that to survive. Whereas the other option would be to understand that every animal, not just pets, animals across the board are sentient beings and don't want to be, it doesn't matter if they're born and raised just for meat. The spirits enter the body. And these animals are now feeling, experiencing, and having that fear that we create unnecessarily. Point being, that's why this woman didn't understand why she was hurting when she went to put her animal down. That's how numb we have become. But it was nice to be able to help her understand. But I also wanted to share that with you all, that when I talk about veganism, it's because it's guided by spirit to talk about it, not because it's something I believe or that someone told me to do it or be it. Anywho. And of course, it's great when the aliens team up with me. Of course, I'm like, yes, it's not just me, it's aliens too. That's believable, right? If I didn't get you to go vegan, maybe the aliens will. All right.
We got a whole new campaign going.
Let's do this. All right. What do you guys need to know? I got one. I might need to use a couple decks with you guys today. I've got some, I already can feel someone asking about work. It's flying all over the place. Okay, here we go. Ooh.
Drum roll, please.
Don't start the drum roll.
Don't worry. If I had, boy, I'd be I'd be getting tired now. There we go. Oh, look at those fancy cards.
Have I not used these?
I don't think so.
I'm going to spend my whole day going back through every single video because I'm pretty sure I have.
Yep. You'll make it a point to show it, like, see?
Maybe I haven't. Card 1, card 2, card 3, card 1, card 2, card 3. Card 1. Card 1, you have image, how others see you, how you are perceived, how you want to be perceived is kind of blocking you. And for some of you, this is really deep rooted. You don't realize that you are concerned with how others see you, that you're concerned with how you're looked at, how you're viewed. But in a way, this has held you back because you don't take jumps or leaps. You instead are a little reserved. What if they think, or what do they think? And some of you, I don't even hear that chatter in your head. I hear you're just so trained into not taking a leap of faith because of what that will look like, feel like, how others will perceive that. Being able to look in the mirror and know who you are and take ownership for the leap, even if it fails, is really what your lesson is right now. And if this was about switching jobs, do it. If this was about moving, do it. If this was about leaving a relationship, do it. Sorry. This is about seeing you for who you actually, you're not even really sure who you are. Like you still have so much work to do to get under that, to get down there. So if you're going to take this leap, take it, and then start doing this work. Be able to look in the mirror and know who you're looking at and be happy with what you're looking at. Don't be afraid of who you're looking at, but know that when you do this, yes, you have to take responsibility for your mistakes and you own it, and who cares? We all make mistakes, right? But you have to be willing to take that ownership. Stop hiding behind that. Oh, card 2. Card 2, there's anger, there's inflammation, there's pain, there's physical pain, there's the physical body is hurting, and there's anger. And all of this is combined in one. For some of you, you may just be feeling the anger, like it's the top has blown off. So either this is about to happen or this has already happened, where you were like, okay, that's it, I'm done. And you have maxed out and you've like blown your lid. And for some of you, this is manifesting in the body as pain, inflammation, burning in the muscles, burning up the spine even. And for those of you that this is emotional, this rage, this anger, if it hasn't already opened up, it's about to, but it needs to, because you've been holding this in, and you can't hold in anger like this and not have it influence and affect every moment of your life. This is powerful rage, and it needs to be let out in a safe space, in a safe way. You've got to let it out. And if it's already come out, great. Don't apologize. Card 3, opportunity. Opportunity with precaution, with attachment. Attachment meaning like opportunity with restrictions or strings attached. Doesn't necessarily mean bad, but there are going to be strings attached. Things that you didn't realize. Oh man, okay. Doesn't mean you don't do it, but there's going to be other stuff there that you didn't realize was attached. Be careful of the opportunity. Make sure that you aren't choosing it solely because of what it pays, because that can be misleading. And you don't want to make your choices solely out of financial. You just can't. There has to be a mind, body, spirit connection to it. Unless this is like a midway plan for some of you, and like you're going to do this for this amount of time, make this money and get out, that's fine. But if this is like a long-term situation, be cautious about this decision. But it is time for you to make a move. I'm not sure if the one right in front of you is the one for you right now. Okay.
Well, all right then. There we go. In case we also have some new folks who aren't aware, on Sunday nights, tonight at 10 o'clock, we have Unexplained Cases live, and that's where we also explore some fascinating paranormal cases, and do that by what we have labeled remote viewing. So we have a unique case tonight, and Mr. Dito will let us know about it.
Everybody coming up tonight on Unexplained Cases Live. He has rubbed elbows with Zach Bagans. He's walked with angels, and he's faced off against demons. Our special guest is paranormal investigator Greg Ludwig. He's going to share some of his spooky tales about the haunts he's investigated over the years. Also, his amazing experience about working with Zach at his haunted museum after winning a special contest from the Travel Channel. How awesome is that? Now, though, Greg needs Maryam's help to learn more about an experience he had as a teenager that haunts him to this very day. A spooky old house, evidence of a ritual, a gun, and a knife. Not exactly what you typically find in an abandoned house. So we're traveling back to California in 1976 with Maryam to remote view the Cold Princess, Get ready to bundle up for a chilling episode of Unexplained Cases Live tonight at 10 p.m. on the East Coast and 7 p.m. on the West Coast. We will see you then.
All kinds of possibilities with tonight's show. So be sure and come back while you're watching this one. Come back tonight, 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern, and check that out. And I want to welcome to the program Christy, who I believe had basically reached out to you, Maryam, and had some questions and concerns, and well, that's kind of why we're here, basically. So, hey, Christy.
Hi, Christy.
Hi. Can you hear me?
We can. And I'm going to step aside and let you all talk.
All right.
Okay, so Christy, give us just a sentence or two of what's been bothering you and why you reached out.
I am in absolute horrible pain 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Years ago, I developed an autoimmune disease, chronic pain disease called CRIPS. But over the last, since like May, it's gotten, I don't know if it's that, but it's like my entire body is on fire, burning. And I just wanted to see what you thought, from a spiritual aspect, what's going on, anything that could help me.
Okay. And you've been experiencing this since your 20s?
Yep. 26.
Okay. All right. Give me just a minute. I'm looking at her pictures right now. That's why I'm looking down. Oh. Your husband is really sweet.
Oh, yeah.
But you and your husband have karma, which we all have with everybody in our lives. But your karma, he came in with guilt for something that happened, something he played a role in your death unwillingly in another life. And he came back committed and obligated to take care of you and make sure that didn't happen again.
Wow.
And yeah.
I was just going to say, we've been together since I was 19 and he was 20. And when I met him, he felt like home. The first person, male, that I had met that just felt like comfort. And he's been there for me in every way. I couldn't ask for a better man.
Yes, he has. And you have a history of abuse. There's emotional abuse, it feels like, from females, and there's physical abuse that I'm not sure if it happened this life, but I'm feeling a lot of lifetimes of continual physical abuse, of being beaten. They're showing me specifically with a stick, like this really long stick, and you were beaten with it regularly.
Wow. My father, when I was little, I was a very good child. Like, I was the best of us three. So I rarely got in trouble. But if we did, he would spank us with a yardstick, but it was few and far between. I never look at it like he abused me. But yeah, I guess I couldn't do that to my kid. But I wouldn't say it was hardcore abuse. It was a few times in my childhood, so I'm thinking maybe it's from a different childhood.
So what happened is you had multiple lifetimes of abuse. That's not the image that I was being shown, not your father. This is someone in a specific life that continually beat you. It looks like it was a slave situation of some sorts. It's like you were captured So it could have been simply a slave and master type situation, because you were this wasn't a family member doing it to you. This was you being held against your will. And when your dad spanked you those few times, that didn't, that wasn't, that wasn't damaging enough to cause this.
Okay. Yeah.
But it did trigger the physical body, and it did trigger the emotional body to remember that lifetime that I was describing. And so what you also are now set up in is a position of continually being a victim, because that's what you brought over from that life, because you were victimized and because you were ultimately killed against your will, and your husband was a part of that, although he didn't want to be. He was forced into it for some reason. He didn't want to take part in harming others, but he had to. And so the guilt that he carried was brought over this time. But your body is in victim mode and is in, understandably, from that lifetime, never mind what you have acquired this lifetime. And for you, it's about, of course, I'm always going to, doesn't matter, it doesn't, a meditation practice, no matter what, you can lay in your bed, you can put on guided meditations. There's always a way to do it, because you have to clear the emotional body. You have to clear the spiritual body. A lot of that work has to be done on your own, because it's about clearing this lifetime. You are welcome to reach out to someone else who could go in and clear the energy from a past life, whether it's Reiki or whatever. Any of that would be recommended, but you need to do both. And then your husband needs to understand that he no longer needs to, you come into this sense of power of taking care of you and your body, and your husband understands he no longer needs to be a caretaker, and instead you two can just be a happy couple. But that would go hand in hand. You would have to pull yourself up out of feeling victimized, and understandably feeling victimized in this lifetime, because you have been struck down with this illness for so long, and it identifies you, and it's all you've known. But it's not too late. You can still heal and pull yourself out of this. Fruits and vegetables should be doubled and tripled. They should be steamed, not raw for you. Rice is good, but rice also feels like it actually feeds into the inflammation. So if you're going to do rice, do brown, not white. Liquids, teas, soups. It's really important for you. And this is probably why I had that speech about the veganism.
I thought of that.
Because the animal broth in soup, that will actually, for you specifically, I'm not speaking for everyone, but for you specifically, it will actually add to the inflammation, which animal protein adds to inflammation in general, but they're saying specifically for you, if you can find a broth that doesn't include animal protein, that would be helpful. They're not saying that you have to go full vegan overnight, nor are they recommending that, because for your body, everything should be done in stages and slowly. But they are recommending an influx of cooked, steamed vegetables, again, not raw. Even though raw is good for a lot of people, your body is not responding to raw right now. Juices, carrot juices, not orange, not fruit juices, but vegetable juices. They're talking also about when sitting up, like there's an exercise. Maybe this is like, I know Tessa might be able to share a link, or she teaches it, yoga done in a chair. Or even a super, super gentle yoga that's just sitting on the floor, or just sitting in a chair, because you want to start getting that spine super erect, and that's where a lot of the healing is going to start. Of course, the memory recall is coming from the back of the head, and so being able to have that spine really strong allows that memory recall to come up and through, up and through, up and through, to have a specific meditation that is for calming the inflammation in the body, but then another meditation that is about awakening the body. So two separate, and those meditations can be short. They can be guided. They can be whatever you want them to be. But two separate intentions to bring the inflammation down. And one is to energize the spine specifically. So seeing the spine up, feeling the spine upright. I see you actually doing exercises in the chair, weights on the legs, on the arms.
Okay.
By the end of this year. You may even be further along than that if you chose. There's no rush. It's not a competition. Just letting you know your potential. That at any time you can reach that, and they're also showing me the ability to stand up and exercise. Like, you have that potential whenever you're ready. It's no rush. Changing up the diet from foods that inflame to foods that calm. I'm going to send you, I'll send you a couple links that you can reference. But what else does she need? We need to clear that lifetime. That's not something that I do. I mean, I would do it if they told me how to do it, but they're not telling me that. So it sounds like you want to seek out someone who does that work specifically, whether that is a hypnosis or just someone who knows how to clear is fine. And then make sure that you clear your space after that work. And then your focus is strengthening that spine, because that's where the memory of changing the memory, and then strengthening the memory and seeing yourself no longer as a victim, and your husband seeing himself as someone that is there to enjoy life, no longer needing to feel like they need to apologize. Not that he consciously is feeling that, but I want you to understand that that's going to change the dynamic between the two of you, not in a bad way, but it's going to be, it might feel a little uncomfortable at first, because your roles together have been what they've been, caretaker, right? And so for you to be in a position where you're like, listen, I want you here because I love you. I don't need you to take care of me anymore. I want you here because I love you. Even though you already feel that, that's going to be more prevalent. And it's going to take some time to kind of massage your way into that part of the relationship. And same with him, to be able to step into the relationship and understand that he's there by everyone's choice, no longer obligation.
Okay.
And
that makes so much sense.
Okay, good.
So, absolutely. Could I ask a quick question? Well, a question. I think I'm pretty sure I went through a spiritual awakening 3 years ago. And I felt like I'm an empath. Do you feel that at all?
Absolutely. But it's really, right now, the pain from the body is just overwhelming.
Taking over. Yeah.
But absolutely you are. Yeah. I feel
everything stopped. The spiritual awakening came to like a grinding halt. One day I woke up and I just knew like it was done. And for a long time I was upset about that and I didn't understand it. And then I listened to this video and they said that sometimes if you're so overwhelmed with other things, that happens so you can have a break. So yeah, I was just wondering about that, because sometimes I feel like, am I just making that up in my head?
No, you're not making that up at all. Let's talk a little bit about spiritual awakenings. That applies to everybody. So it's really important that we learn slowly, and that we learn gently, and that we come into our practice that way. A really important point I want to point out, and not that you said this, Christy, but we tend to, when something happens in our life, we grab it and we go, okay, it's different now. Not understanding that a spiritual awakening happens daily when you have a meditation practice. So an incident happening to you, whether it's you or anybody else, we tend to hold on to that and go, okay, well, what do I do with it? What do I do with it? Well, you don't do anything with it. You have a daily practice, because your spiritual evolution happens daily. It's now, do we feel pushes sometimes? Yes. Do we feel like, whoa, what just happened? Yes. But those aren't, oh, it happened, now I'm done. It's up to us to continually evolve, and that's through a daily practice. If you don't have a daily practice, yes, you will have these moments and flickers of life, of spirit, that just come and go, and then you latch on, you're like, where did it go? And it's like, well, you don't have a daily practice, so you are looking outside of you for something to happen again, when in reality your daily practice and your spiritual awakenings come from internally connecting consciously to spirit, not from something blasting us from behind. Now, that blast from behind is important and needed, but that's just a moment. It's like I can't, the only example I could give is, it's like if someone, pushes you to get you started, it's like you won't jump in the pool, so they push you in the pool. Well, once you're in the pool, if you don't know how to swim, you drown. And then you wait for someone to pull you out of the pool. Or someone pushes you in the pool, your spiritual awakening, and you are like, okay, I can doggy paddle. And that's your daily meditation practice. And all of a sudden you're doing the breaststroke, and all of a sudden you're doing more. But if that initial push, you'll either sink or swim. And if you sink, then we're constantly going, where's the next one? What, how come, and that's when people will call me and email me and say, oh, I'm seeing these numbers, I'm seeing this, I'm seeing that. You don't have a daily practice. So you're outside yourself searching for a sign. When you have a daily practice, you don't look for signs, because you feel them and see them all the time. Great way to end it.
That makes complete sense. Because when this all started, I felt pulled to meditate, and I tried. I sleep basically live in a recliner. So I would try in my recliner, and either the pain would be too great that I couldn't get outside of my body, and just focus on breathing, or I would fall asleep. And I got so frustrated with it, so I gave up trying. I'm going to keep trying.
So you may need a different practice, A. Okay. B, for now, falling asleep is fine.
Okay.
I think that you need to determine which one it is. Sometimes I'll do a guided meditation because I need to sleep, and sleeping is fine. But sometimes you might need to change up the meditation. I would always recommend chanting, always recommend just as simple as whatever that looks like, feels like for you. I'll send you Guru Singh's links and stuff like that. But chanting can help you stay awake. Obviously do 5, and chanting for me changes my whole being. Do a 3-minute chant and then do a guided meditation. And if you fall asleep, you fall asleep. That's okay. The goal is, the intention is, when you are done with your practice, you should feel energized, clear, and ready to do. If you don't feel that way, then we need to change your practice.
All right. Thank you so
Christy.
Much. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks, Christy. Thanks for joining us today.
I'll send you a follow-up email.
All right. Thank you.
Awesome.
Okay. Good luck.
Awesome. Well, this is, like I've said before, this is why we do this program, basically, to be able to help folks. So thanks, Christy. And if anyone else has, they've got a situation similar, then definitely feel free to reach out to us, and we'll help you out. So, of course, my first question would have to be, did anyone reach out? Anything in your mailbox?
I was trying to work out this email from Maryland. She's really sweet, and she had all kinds of stuff to say, and so it was kind of confusing my little tiny brain. So I want to see, I'm going to try to attack it. What she's asking is if she and this friend of hers have a past life connection. So this is Marilyn asking if her and Diane have a past life connection, and if they do, what is it? So as you know, everyone does. We're all kind of hanging that soul cluster, soul family. So that's a given that you, of course, have been together before. I'm going to try to revisit this next week, because earlier today when I looked at it, I wasn't able to get anything, which doesn't mean anything. It just means I wasn't. So let me, Marilyn, revisit this next week. Let me sit with this a little bit longer. I know it's been a while because you submitted before I was sick. You all hear Daisy? She's even mad at me.
Well, you know, that goes without saying. So
she's barking at the door because she wants to get in my bathroom so she can go to the bathroom.
See, this is important stuff. Then, all right. So nothing else in your mailbox, though, right?
No.
Okay. All right. So first off, we got Miss Libby.
Aw, Libby, I'm sorry for your loss. I would love to know if my cousin Cheryl is okay before she passed. She had her voice. Let me see if I can do it without a picture of cousin Cheryl. And if not, Libby, I'm going to have you email me a picture of her. I might have to open my door so Daisy stops barking. Let me do that. Libby, send me a picture of her so I can it'll be fast and accurate. I won't be guessing. Okay, send the next one, but I'm also going to open the door for Daisy so she doesn't bark this whole time.
Of course. Yeah. And Libby, if you don't know the email address, it's going to be scrolling across the bottom in just a little bit. And that's who you can send it to.
Okay, I'm coming. Here I come.
No problem. Thinking you may need a picture on this one anyway.
Okay, let's see. Sue. Maybe my dad will come through with us both on. Oh, yeah, Sue, I got to see someone's face.
So like the artwork there, but that'll be helpful.
Yeah, so opening the door made it worse, not better. Hang on. Hang on.
Stand by.
Stand by, people.
See, this is the joys of live, basically. So
gosh. I mean, it's fun when they interrupt, but when you can see them, not when they're annoying barking. Okay. So wait, where did we leave the last one? Oh, a picture of at least her or her and dad. Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I was just wondering if Spirit would rather hang out in heaven instead of visiting. Okay, Patty. I was just wondering if, I think we missed a word, would rather hang out in heaven instead of visiting me when I think of her, my grandmother. I just don't feel her with me. Okay, so Patty, you're asking if your grandmother would rather hang out, basically is not wanting to hang out with you. Was that your question? Is that what you got, Rick? She's feeling like her grandma won't hang out with her?
Well, yeah. That would be a way to look at it.
I feel like I need to see everyone's face today. Okay,
so maybe the request would be to a picture of grandmother.
Yeah, Patty, I think I'm going to need you to send me some info. Picture you, picture grandma. But I do want to say this. Spirits will come in, come out, come in, come out. Okay. And so just because you're not feeling them for a bit doesn't mean they're not there. But we all also have multiple guides. As we heard, Rick has a whole guide family. One of them happens to be that cute little old guy with the beard. And so different spirits are there to help when we need them. Sometimes if we're clinging to a family member that passed, that separation is the family member spirit doing the right thing and allowing you to heal. Sometimes we hold on to their spirit if we can feel them, and we hold on, and that's okay to do sometimes, but sometimes that separation is needed so you can grow and then understand grandma is there whenever, but not in a fashion that's clinging. And I don't mean to say that when someone dies, we're clinging to the spirit. I know that mourning their loss can take many shapes and forms and take a long time. I'm saying that when the spirit isn't always around and you're not always feeling it, it's because there's work for you to do without her spirit there, probably work that involves healing from the loss. Okay. Aaron, hi Aaron. Romantic relationships have been essentially non-existent in my life for the past few years. This is going to change this year soon. Aaron, love. Okay. I'm looking at her little face. Aaron, you've got so much fear wrapped up. And so much loss wrapped up around relationship. There's this this fear and this loss that I'm not saying that you've had a lot of loss in relationship. I'm saying that you had some sort of loss or let down in your life as a child that affected you not having relationships. It's been easier to stay away from them. I'm not saying you don't want them. I'm saying subconsciously it's easier for you to stay away from them so you don't have to deal. I'm not liking the energy of the partners in your life, and even kind of the relationship with mom seemed okay, but with dad is just, I'm questioning. Because there's a lot that you want to work out before it's time for a relationship, past stuff. Give yourself 6 months of that.
So now Cindy doesn't quite have a question, but I'm going to articulate it. Basically, she's got a lot going on. Wondered if you have any clarity.
Yeah, Cindy, I'll need a couple of photos. Like with Christy, I had to request a bunch of information, like the pictures of her house, of her husband, of her, like, so Cindy, especially with your health, I'm going to ask you to send me some photos. Email me. Hi, Michael. No, I'm not having a stroke. That was my dad calling. Did the frame freeze for a minute?
Well, I for a second was like, did we just lose audio on her? So that's what I was pausing for. So
no,
okay.
My freaking dad called, and my mom watches the show. So what's she doing?
Dad is running with scissors.
Okay, seriously. Okay, Michael. Michael's like, guys, shut up. Michael, you have been doing your own shows, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've been seeing posts of your classes and stuff like that. Hold on. Not this deck. Not this deck. Oh. I like to make that noise. It scares everybody. Okay. Ooh.
I'm used to that sound.
Michael, they want you to set up your teachings almost like sometimes they kept referencing like a university. Like you have some way of breaking things down to teach in a way that's like a university or school. And so it allows people to join in financially on lower that could afford, like that may not be able to afford the whole 4 years. I'm not saying it would be a 4-year course, but for example, you have the option of people being able to purchase all 4 years, or the option of people purchasing just tidbits of information, and you being able to fill that class and give those students exactly what they need and fill them. It's a tiered approach, not tiered based on necessarily experience, but they're saying like tiers based on what people can afford. And yeah, like it's very heavy in education. Like there's they just keep pushing this whole educational component. You got to open up your heart. So your day job is overwhelming you a little bit. And so it's blocking guidance. Focus on your heart in your daily practice so the heart can show you the way, because the heart, unlike the head, doesn't judge, just moves, right? And so open up your heart more so you can honestly you could listen. I could see the end of this year. You could do this by the end of this year. sooner than that even, actually. But they're saying, like, really get focused on this educational plan and layout and like tiered approach. You waiting for the hand to go down, or?
Well, no, I was part way making sure, because sometimes you have those pauses.
I do.
And then I was also responding to somebody. Last question.
Holly. Hi, Holly. Will I meet my twin flame this year? Do you have a sister, Holly? Do you have a twin sister? Now, when you said twin flame, I saw like, I actually saw a friendship, like a best friend or a twin sister. Like there's this other female in your life that's like this. If you haven't met her already, that's just like this, like two peas in a pod. Listen, guys, I feel like there's a theme here with love. Yes, 6 months, Holly. 6 months. Between now and 6 months, you have to. Who did you bury? Was there someone of importance to you that died, or that you had to kind of bury the thought of it in order to move on? There's something you have to bury, put to rest, that's affecting relationship. And that mark will be around 6 months. If you focus on that and work on that, 6 months from now is where you'll see this shift.
All right. Well, then there we go. We actually have a few other questions in the comments, but basically there's kind of a variety. Some are not specific. Some folks don't have a picture in their profile. So there's a few little things that we ask just to kind of make things smoother. Plus, basically, we're also out of time. So as I just dropped in the comments, definitely email those over to Maryam Live at unexplainedcases.com so that we can tackle those at the top of the show next week. Plus, tonight, come back. We will be having, as usual, Mr. Darren Dito will be joining us for Unexplained Cases Live. We'll have Greg Ludwig, who is a paranormal investigator, a very interesting case he's going to be sharing with us. And yeah.
And Black History on Saturday.
Good stuff. Absolutely. And next Saturday, that will be at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific. We'll have another in that series as well. Have a very unique and cool guest who used to, if I understand, was a guitarist for Prince. Mm-hmm. So as among many other things, basically. So that's just one little nugget of that. So a lot going on. We appreciate everybody being here today. Thanks so much for your love and support, and we will see you next time.